Tiger Force. Much like the eye of the tiger, a force that inspires one to rise up to the challenge of their rivals. For Stuart, Outback, Selkirk, those rivals sported a red cobra snake logo. This survivalist, survival in this case being an acronym proudly emblazoned across his shirt, standing for size up the situation, undue haste makes waste, remember where you are, vanquish fear and panic, improve your situation, value living, act like the natives, and learn basic skills. Stuart took this message to heart, figuratively and literally, because it crosses over his heart on his shirt, becoming an expert in wilderness survival and serving as a survival training instructor for G.I. Joe. Now, we originally met Outback way back in 1987 when he finally joined the team in 3 3/4 inch scale under the Real American Hero line. In that time, he appeared in his original white tee with survival and green-gray camo pants, a version also coming soon in the classified series. It was a couple more iterations before anyone got to see the white hair and bearded version sporting Tiger Force themed garb like an orange t-shirt with a tiger face and green-orange camo pants, though this one was a European-only release in the G.I. Joe Action Force line. Now that the Tiger Force Target exclusive, with some previously available on Hasbro Pulse, Outback is finally starting to ship to those who pre-ordered. We're getting another chance to see the same color palette with a tiger face on an orange tee. I guess we'll have to wait to see the survival tee right for the next version. Until then, I am very excited to get to take a look at this one together. Hey everyone, my name is Jonathan, aka JK of JK Collects. And remember, I'll be posting a new video at least twice a week, if not more. And if that sounds of interest to you, please click that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any episodes. In this episode, we are taking a closer look at the Hasbro 6-inch scale G.I. Joe Classified Target exclusive Tiger Force Stuart Outback Selkirk. Okay everyone, hello and welcome back. And I don't know if you can hear the excitement in my voice for this one, but I am absolutely excited. This just came in today, and let me tell you, before we really dive into it, I'm going to let you enjoy just the beauty of this figure. And just to tell a tale, I was starting to get a little concerned that I wasn't going to get it, right? Because I pre-ordered from Target a year ago, and it kept getting delayed and kept getting delayed and pushed back order. And the last time that happened was with the DC Multiverse Grifter, and they eventually ended up just canceling it without giving me a chance. You know, normally you can go in and approve it and all that stuff, but I was worried that this one was going to get canceled. But then a few days ago, I got a notification that it had shipped out of the blue. And here it is. Even showed up earlier than it was supposed to, but I'm absolutely excited. Okay, enough of that. Let's look at it. Okay, let's flip around to the back and look at this. It looks fantastic. Okay, so this is right. He fell into still with the plastic, the window packaging, but here around the back, with it being a special edition, we don't have that typical G.I. Joe mural going on. We have Tiger Force, and then it looks like we've got some nice jungle views, which is, you know, gives that good survivalist look to it, right? A nice waterfall. Looks like we're in maybe a tropical area there. I like this, you know, it's a nice little bit of art back there to kind of get you into that zone that where Outback just basically lives, right? And then here on this side, we're going to flip over real quick. It shows the skills and the ranking levels for it. Of course, he's got some decently high rankings for several things. G.I. Joe .hasbro.com. We can decode that. This one's number 39. How about that, right? So we're already so high in the numbers, so much higher than this, and we've waited so long for this one to come. And let me tell you, if you're still waiting for this one, I hope that it is on the way, and I hope that if you haven't gotten it, you've got your notification coming soon that it's going to be shipping, because everybody deserves to have this when they want one, right? And then here's our artwork on the side. It looks like it almost looks like it's a chalk, right? Like a pastel-y type thing. So very neat breakdown of how that's done, right? So we got old Outback with the white hair, the white beard, the blue headband. This is that G.I. Joe Action Force version that we never really got to see here or have the opportunity to pop into a store and buy. I love the snake here on the side. And then of course the artwork wraps around. We would see it full page, which would be nice. I mean, this is so cool and so rugged looking, but we get to see the figure, and for those who don't want to open, they get to still see it, that work of art that this guy is. And it's great to see that Tiger Force logo. I keep pointing it out, but it's fantastic. So here's our Stuart Outback Selkirk, and to save you potentially from having to open it up. Let's pop it open together, right? Because that's the whole idea of this channel, is so that we can go on this adventure together. We can open up these things and take a look at them, and that can help you decide if you want it out or maybe keep yours in the package. So here we go. Look at that. There it is. You know what? It's a special edition, but it's still, there's still that that good old North Star of the Hasbro pamphlet. Oh, look at that. I mean, there's a Tiger Force in the background. You know, I was too busy looking at the figure. I didn't even pay attention to what was going on behind him. So we've got a big version of the logo and even some more with helicopter flying in the air. Almost looks like it's supposed to be a Tomahawk. See the dual propellers up there. Very cool. Very cool. Okay, I want to move the box out of the way because we need to get to Outback himself, and boy, he comes with a lot of stuff. So let's pop this giant backpack off, right? Typical of old Outback. We'll get that out of the way. A couple things taped down. I'll pop back to those. And there's that. Let's pop this. Is this a communicator or a magazine? We're gonna find out what it is. Looks like a magazine. Still has the tape attached to it. I'll deal with that. Let's remove la pistola. We've got a survivalist flashlight. There we go. Oh, I've got stuff flying everywhere. There's a survival shovel, flashlight. Let's pop old Stuart himself out. This is absolutely exciting, right? This was a version that we were never able to get before, and now we can. And pardon me while I look for the piece that dropped. So there we go. I mean, keep an eye out for those little pieces. Make sure that they don't go flying on you. I am not exactly sure where that one went. Hopefully I'll be able to spot it. There we go. Survival knife. All right, so nothing like staring at a blank screen with nothing going on. So let's put him to the side. And now that I found this one, let's take a closer look at it to start, right? So here is our survival knife. Picked up some fuzz off the floor. Pardon me for that. You know, animals, what are you going to do? So there we go. Nice looking survival knife, right? So it kind of harkens back to old Rambo. Remember that? Yeah. Got the serration right there. Very large. But one, you know, I hate to be nitpicky, but of course we could have had a little bit more detail, maybe some black on the handle. Of course I get it. You know, the more you put it in and out of a hand, it's going to rub that paint off. But we do have several knives that have a little bit more detail painted on them, or the silver for the blade. This one may not necessarily have needed that, but it would have been cool to see something for the handle. Either way, very excited for that. Here is our survival flashlight, and you know, it's quite obvious what it is, but yet again, another opportunity for some detail, right? We could have had something there to give the illusion of a lens, whether it was like a silver paint, a blue paint. I mean, anything there to make it look, even yellow, to make it look like there was a bit of a lens to it, right? Because it is a flashlight. And I'll even say if we could have gotten that, I would excuse any kind of other potential for dry brushing of a darker gray or a black or anything like that, because I mean, we have good detail in there. We've got the I don't know if it's specifically called knurling when it looks like that, when it's just a straight up and down, but it's, you know, where it's engraved into the metal to serve as like a grip where you can grab it a little bit more. I don't know, knurling I think more has kind of like a diamond shape to it, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear those ANSI terminology. It's been a long time since I studied that. There's our switch. But you know what? We're spending a lot of time on that survival flashlight, and there's so much more to look at. Like a survival shovel. So there we go. Very cool design and sculpt on this one. I like all the different shapes, right? So it looks like it's absolutely ready just to slice right into the ground and cut through other things, because it has all the way up, almost like a blade, almost sharpened into it. So this thing is definitely ready to dig, and dig quickly when necessary. Very well done. Right? Yep. I do have to say, it could have used a little bit of paint detail. I know I sound like a broken record every time we do that, but talk about paint detail. Look, we have this, and we've got the little wrap around it, right? To make it a little bit more comfortable maybe to hold. So we do have a little bit of possibility for paint apps. It is a thing that does happen. There's some more spots where it potentially could have happened even more, but very cool looking weapon here. Again, not really going to try and name any kind of brands or anything like that, or anything that it harkens to or kind of ties back to. I do like that we have two openings here in the front for either suppressors or blast effects, right? So we can have those nice poses for your shelves if you do pop old Stu out of his package. Let's pick up this. Tape is still attached to what I'm going to assume is a magazine for this guy, right? Look at this. I mean, they even went along and gave this a brownish red strap to it. See, it's almost like a like a burgundy type maroon shade to it. Hopefully it's coming through on the camera right. It looks like it is. But then of course we have the magazine ready to pop in. It is a little flexible, so don't push too hard like I just did. But I got to share it every single time. You know, we're having this sort of thing available, right? Where just so simple, removable weapon parts, functional weapon parts, weapons that go in holsters, and so on and so on. It is just fantastic. On beyond being able to finally get a version of this figure off the shelves here in America. Granted, I mean it was a long road to get this thing off of a shelf from Target or even from Hasbro Pulse, right? There were some available there. Hopefully now that we know it's in production, we might see some restocks. In my yammering and prattling on, we can see there was a little bit of brown mist there where the strap attaches to where the stock would be. But all in all, I mean, really well done and really good detail of that weapon, as you can see. So solid. Great for a survivalist, right? It'll definitely do the job in helping someone survive, especially when you got a backpack this big full of all kinds of stuff, right? Look at this thing. Who knows what is in this? I mean, look at all these pouches. Very, very well sculpted. I do appreciate the way that they sculpted the fabric, the material it's made out of, because it makes it seem like it's that more slightly flexible, rugged type material, right? So it's designed to be kind of lightweight. It almost gives an idea of like it almost feels like a parachute material, right? Now that may not have been intended, but just the way that it flows and the creases and all that, it just seems like it would almost be that type of material. I can almost feel it and imagine it in looking at this bag, but you know it's still rugged because it's so massive and clearly holding so much stuff. It's like a car seat. I mean, look at this. You feel like that would just slide right up and you got the back of a car seat going on right here. We just need the bottom. So anyway, in looking at this, yes, fantastically sculpted. I do love just the artistry of the wrinkles and all that, but you know, we could have had a little bit of highlight, at least on these buckles, just to make them pop out a little bit, just to show that extra detail, that extra care that the classified team is putting into these figures, these toys, these works of art. So all in all, I mean, cast out of this brown plastic, I really can't complain. I can only say it would have been cool to see that, right? Just a little bit of highlight on the buckles. Okay. All right, I think I flew through that. Well, I say flew through those, but I still find ways to ramble. But yeah, I'm just ready to get to this guy. Look at this. It's just so cool. First off, Outback is just always an awesome character to begin with, right? Rolling around in a white t-shirt with survival written across, which, as we discussed, is an acronym. But very cool. And then this version having the face of a tiger. Talk about leaning into joining the tiger force, which always so cool, right? And in the original version, like the repaints of Cobra vehicles, a way to obviously resell some vehicles, like one of the original Tours Down repaints, but they were so neat, right? You could get a Stinger that had a tiger theme and face painted on it. It was so cool. Anyway, so let's take a look at Outback with this new color scheme for his head, or new to us color scheme for his head, right? So there we go. Got a nice Santa Claus thing going, right? And perfect for this time of year. He is just absolutely prepared for it. We've got the white hair with a little bit of a gray wash to it, right? So there's that dry brushing, slight wash that I keep mentioning. This is the kind of stuff you can see how it makes the detail just pop on the hair, on the beard. I mean, look, they spent so much time sculpting this beard to make it look so rugged, to make it look like a survivalist's beard and hair. And they took the time and got a little bit of a gray dry brush or wash in there. So it just makes it stand out. It just makes that effort really show through. And if you look at the face, it's amazing what they're doing with faces these days. I mean, back in the day, yeah, everything looked fine because that's what we were used to. That's what we knew we could get. I didn't really think beyond it. But then this looks like a real person, right? It's amazing, this photorealism that they are able to do. And they even have subtle darker paint in there just to show like maybe some sun where he's got some damage to his skin or things like that, because obviously he spends a lot of time outside. A lot of it might be in the forest or the jungle, but you're still getting sun. You're still getting damage to that skin, to the tip of the nose and to the cheeks. But there we go. I mean, the battle-hardened Stuart Outback Selkirk. Headband, very well painted all in all. A little bit of gray popping through right there. from the paint. I mean, both were painted because it seems like it's a flesh tone cast plastic head, and then lots of paint added to it. So great job. Yeah. Okay. Let's check out the flexibility of said head. Let's go auto. There we go. So side to side, not bad, right? Always that first one's a little funky, but then when we go to the other one, you can kind of see there's a bit of a change there. Kind of reminds me of a bird doing that. I'm going to stop doing that to him. Okay, let's take the profile so we can look at the down. A little bit. I mean, he does look down. It doesn't look like he's still looking straight forward, which would be that, and then up. Also, you know, not bad. It does give the ability of actually looking down and actually looking upwards as opposed to what would be a straightforward. The back of the hair serves as a little bit of a hindrance. You know, you can push and it'll do a little bit more. And then of course the beard in the front offers a little hindrance. It's on a ball up in there. So we are moving around on that. It does appear that the neck is a separate piece from the torso, but I don't really see much movement from it, if any. It's kind of hard to say. We do have the Night of the Roxbury action going on there, so that's good. That helps with a little bit of the mobility. And I have no doubt, that we've got full exorcism. That took a little bit, right? So it was a little tight. Didn't want to go that way at first, but then he let go. He made it work. He survived it, if you will. All right, let's check out the arms. Butterfly joint, great functionality. Look how far out back that thing's going. So butterfly joint, we've got good rotation in the shoulder, good up and down. We have the bicep tricep on a more rounded deltoid here, or the shoulder. So it does have the ability of rotating very well, very easily, without risking any damage. And when you have a currently very hard to get figure, you don't really want to risk too much damage, right? Elbow, I believe this one was one of the first hyped in the classified line of having the pinless joints, right? And there we go. It's shining through. Pretty great flexibility, flex-ability, if you will. So excellent there. Good to see that with that double elbow. We've got the arm hair painted on there. I mean, right, Mr. Rugged, right? Okay, so no forearm rotation, no lower rotation here. We have that one, and then we have, of course, the wrist. And if we look closely, we have up and down by looking at the little slit for the joint right there. So wrist does go fully around and up and down, which is good. It's a hand that's sculpted for a weapon holding, right? So we got the trigger finger pointed out. Even if it is the atypical hand that usually holds a weapon, you can dual wield. This did do a little bit of a pop, I'm sure if you heard, lifting up, and it did loosen up the butterfly joint. It doesn't seem like anything was damaged, but it did do a pop with no resistance. So there was no forcing there, but just lifting it up did that pop. So butterfly joint still got that same mobility. It's just a lot looser on this side than it was on this side. Maybe this one will loosen up with usage. Same rotation, same lack of rotation, but the wrist does the same thing, and we've got forward and backwards on this one, okay? So up and down over here, forward and backwards on that one, all right? Torso, we've got that U-ish shaped joint right there where it goes down, like we saw on Sergeant Slaughter, and very similar mobility there. So kind of looks like he's ready for a cartoon run, right? So goes back, clicks into place. So we've essentially got three positions, a downward crunch, upright, and a backward crunch. So 3-position click, which is great for holding it, good for posing. Waist rotation, okay. It definitely wants to hang up on something, but it will kind of pop and shift loose a little bit and rotate. So there we go. Posability, not bad. The legs, yes, there it is. I swear, it's. I look for it every time on every figure. We have a little bit of the pull down, which kind of helps with the flexibility, because otherwise, without it, definitely wanted to get caught very quickly. Would get there, but if we pull it down, you know what? It ends up about being the same. But we have pretty good survival split. Not too bad. Still farther than I have ever gone in my life, and probably farther than I'll ever go. So we have that. Let's check it out. I see a line that looks like we've got thigh rotation, but yep, there we go. If we grip the top of the leg, it does give good thigh rotation on both sides. There's our double pinless knee. So we've got good flexibility there for limbering up for a good chase through the jungle. So he is ready to go. We'll bring that back down. Yep, we do have calf or upper boot rotation, so it's hidden with the top of the boot. So good to see that. I always like ways that they can cleverly hide these lines. So we've got the straps for these two holsters are essentially hiding the thigh rotation line, but not impeding them, right? So we still have that. We have no pins there, and we have boot rotation to mask the calf rotation. Foot, good, up and down. Yeah, not bad at all. And then we have ankle breaker, right? But he's a survivalist. He doesn't break his ankle. He's too tough. This guy's a refrigerator. Not the fridge, but a fridge. How about that? You know, hey, who knows? Maybe one day we'll see a refrigerator Perry out there. Okay, so that's it for flexibility. All in all, pretty solid. Pretty happy about the classified lineup and how their flexibility is. Let's take a closer look at these paint apps and accessories that are attached to them. So we've got this this harness with a couple pouches in there, a little bit of gray on that belt buckle, or the harness buckle and the belt buckle right there, with no real issues standing out, right? Even close, it looks pretty clean. You could almost say these little tips are missing some, but it's tough to be absolutely certain because they get so small, even in the camera. We've got a little bit of a darker brown right here up on these pads, and it seems pretty well painted, and definitely has a very, let me switch to manual so we can get this one. It doesn't really like to do close stuff. It has a very leathery look. I mean, look at that. The way that it's painted and cast, that darker brown gives a very good, slightly crackly leather. And then even looking here on the back, cast, so it is cast in there, I'm assuming, because it's probably this too, which would have been cool to see that same color. It almost seems like it was intended when sculpted, but missed. But you know what? Hey, that's okay. It's in the back. It's going to be covered by the backpack. I'm not going to cry about it. And then as far as paint on the back, the pants do have the camo that followed around. Sometimes we don't always necessarily see that because, you know, it's the back. You can get away with it. But then on the front, look at that. The pièce de résistance, El Tigre. All right, and you know what? I'm going to stop pretending like I know other languages that well. So there is the tiger. A little bit different, right? A little bit more complex than the original version because there's a lot larger canvas and there's a lot more ability for detail. But this is fantastic, right? It definitely harkens back to that G.I. Joe Action Force version. Here's our camo on the front, on the pants, looking good. These holsters, no real paint apps showing on them. They are definitely cast in that rubbery kind of brown plastic that we have that this harness was done under, and then we have a leg, boot, ankle-ish holster down here. So let's start loading them up. Let's put the things where they belong. One would assume survival knife goes there, and we've got a nice hole here. I'm going to say this has got to be survival flashlight, right? And then over on the side, of course, what else would go there but that? Let's put the backpack on the back. I know I don't normally go through adding all the accessories, but I just gotta admit I'm just too excited. Because we've got our survival shovel here, and it looks like it can probably go on either side, which then brings this one, the weapon. You know, maybe the trigger point would go through there. Yeah, there we go. It will mount that way by going through the actual trigger onto that peg. So yet again, I've mentioned it before, one fantastic thing about this classified series is they seem to always be intentionally designed to be able to carry all of their items on their figure, on their body at the same time. Okay, well there he is, and you saw how easily he stood on his own. So yet again, a masterfully crafted figure, very well done. I 100% endorse and recommend this if you get the chance to get one. If you have one on the way, fantastic. I hope it shows up soon. If you have one pre-ordered, I hope it shows up soon as well. But we're going to pop to some 360 views of Mr. Selkirk, and we'll be right back. All right, here is our Tiger Force Survivalist Stuart Outback Selkirk. Fantastic figure. Again, no complaints, no issues, totally worth the wait. I hope that you have one on the way. If not, I hope that the possibility opens to be able to get your hands on one. For those of you who have pre-ordered it, definitely worth the wait. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks. Well, that about does it. Thank you for checking us out and for joining us on this collecting journey, as always. Look for new videos each week, if not more. Be sure to subscribe and click that like button. It would really help us out, and it would really mean a lot to me. If you'd like to see some more videos, there are a couple of quick links on your screen right now for you to check out. No matter what, as always, thank you for taking the time. And remember, we are all in this collecting world together. Let's look out for each other. Thanks.